Hello, my name's Karina Thompson, and in this film I'm going to show you how you can save and send embroidery designs using the MySewNet embroidery system. So I've created this design and I now want to stitch it out. So how do I get this design from my computer onto my embroidery machine? So there's a couple of ways of doing that. In the top right hand corner there is a little cloud with a tick on it, and I am going to click on that, and I've got a number of options. Now the bottom one says send to Designer Epic 2. I'm lucky enough to have an Epic 2. It's plugged in, it's switched on, it's in my workroom, and I am going to click on this button. And what's actually going to happen, because it's a Wi-Fi enabled machine, it's going to automatically send to my Epic 2. So I can now go straight up into my workroom. The embroidery is there on my machine. I can hoop up and I can stitch out. You can see from the dialog box here it's saying design was sent to my machine. Really straightforward. Now it might be, you say, well Karina, that's great, but actually I haven't quite got the time to do that. I'm going to have to stitch it out on another day. Not a problem. What I can do is, again, I'm going up to the Send to MySewNet button. I'm going to click on it, and the top option is Send to MySewNet Cloud. If I wanted to, I could also send it directly to my tower system. That's the computer that I'm on already. But in actual fact, I want to show you this really neat feature. So it says Send to MySewNet Cloud. So I'm going to click on that. Now, part of your MySewNet subscription entitles you to cloud storage, and that means you can save all your embroidery designs up on the cloud. And then when you're ready, you can go to your Wi-Fi enabled machine and you can pull them down from the cloud onto your machine. So for instance, again, I'm just going to call this doll, and I'm going to say leaf pattern. So I know what it is, and if I click send, again, you can see we've got a dialog box here saying sending was successful. So I now know that that design is up on my SewNet cloud account, and I can pull it down when I need it. So I'm just going to close that down. So you might say, well, that's great, Karina, but unfortunately I'm not lucky enough to have a Wi-Fi enabled machine. My embroidery machine uses a USB stick. And that's absolutely fine. You can still use the MySewNet embroidery software with a USB stick, and I'll show you. So I'm going to go to the File tab over here, click on that, and I am going to export my design. So I'm going to click on Export, and the Export dialog window opens. And if I click on this little arrow here, you can see all the main embroidery file formats are there. So if you've got an embroidery machine that uses a PES or a PEC or a JEF or a DST file, there's no reason why you can't export your embroidery in those file formats. But I'm going to use the Husqvarna Viking and Pfaff. I'm going to export it as a VP3 because perhaps I've got an embroidery machine that will read a VP3 but not a VP4, and that's not a problem. I'm going to leave all the defaults, that if I wanted not to colour sort or combine my designs, those kind of things. I don't want to flip it for felting, so I'm just happy this is perfect, and so I'm going to click OK. And you can see from this window, the save window, that here we are. I've got my USB stick in, and I can title this, and I am going to call this Doll with Leaves. You can see down here that we've got a VP3 file format, and then I am going to click Export. And so now I've saved my embroidery design onto a memory stick. When I'm ready, I can eject that stick, go and take the stick to my embroidery machine and load it up as I always do. So I hope you found this a useful film and that you can now see how you can use the MySewNet embroidery system to store your embroideries on the cloud, how you can use them to send it direct if you have a Wi-Fi enabled machine, or indeed how you can save them directly onto a USB stick. I hope you found it a useful film. Please look out for more films in the future, and happy sewing.